Welcome back to the channel for your source of Marvel Strike Force information for players, plan for us, and spend if there's value. There's a bit of value today in the Advanced Basic Catalyst, $150 for $10, so I recommend that one. There's also a few character releases that are probably going to be really interesting, and that's the main discussion for today. It often isn't, so most of my advice is useful to free-to-play players, or even players over time as things become farmable. My primary game goal is preparing for Dark Dimension 4 to team up Doctor Doom, hopefully with the Fantastic Four. I hope that they're, aren't just put on the shelf forever in the future as a war defense team. I'm going to use them for war offense for as long as I can. Hopefully we'll learn more about that soon, but not today. For now, we're going to talk about the Symbiote team because they are really important for Dark Dimension 3. I hope that they're great for Dark Dimension 4, but I'm excited enough about the team and the expansion to the team to spend some time talking to you about it today, as well as talk about a couple other things I think need to happen in Marvel Strike Force. So I'm happy about the Symbiote faction, but there's some others one that needs some love, another that we need in the game. And I just want to go ahead and have a little fun chatting about it today. But to start, let's talk about Scream. So Scream was announced on Friday in a blog post. Very interesting. I like the art. It's actually pretty attractive, from the neck down, but from the neck up, could you imagine how freakish that would? I'll just stop at that. It's like, what the heck? That would be a nightmare of all nightmares. Looking into those eyes. No. But let's go on up here. The interesting part about Scream to me, one, just having another symbiote means that all the speed-ups from Carnage and the healing from Symbiote Spider-Man will apply to another character. So just that alone is good. If they've added things to her kit that are really amazing. Like the passive is pretty similar to Minerva's passive. So Minerva is amazing. Having a symbiote and another person within the roster that can say, hey, if Minerva gets killed, because somehow she always gets killed in Ultima 7, I have a backup or an alternate team with similar characteristics. So one of those is this symbiotic attachment. On death of any character on my team or the opponent's team, heal all symbiotes and apply speed up. So that's a little better than Minerva because they're already ridiculously fast. If they get speed up too, that's bonkers. And she also resists the enemy team's resistance. So drops that, so all of the negative SAS effects will apply even easier. The ultimate, is amazing. So you're applying damage to that one. You can reduce the speed bar, and you can do it through stealth. So forget you, Asgardians. You go red. Loki put you in stealth. She's gonna hit you anyway. Just fantastic. The special's great and is ready. On the first charge, you can clear positive effects and offense down. It also goes through stealth targets. It's awesome. And the basic's great too. So I'm just assuming all around Scream is fantastic. And I'm seriously considering doing at least one character offer for her and then starring her up with the character campaign just to get her well up there. Now here's the rub though. I don't have 72 alien spores, so I can't take up both her and the next discussion, AntiVenom, at the same time. Well, so we're finding out a lot of leaks about AntiVenom. We'll see if they're all true, but these screenshots look pretty dang true. I don't have sources like this, but when I read this, I get pretty excited. So you saw in Scream's kit, there's part of what Minerva does there. Well, part of what Minerva does is here in AntiVenom too, though with a lot higher cooldown. So I'm not going to call him a Minerva equivalent. We don't know what his ultimate is yet, or at least I don't. But with his special, AntiVenom special, you clear heal block, which alone is great. Apply immunity to allies, fantastic. Revive a dead symbiote, too? Dang! But the only issue is 6 energy required, though the symbiotes do move very fast. As Carnage, increases speed bar. Scream is giving speed up to everyone. They could go. The scenario this could turn into is really bonkers and honestly very frightening if they make us go against the symbiotes. Could you imagine what team are we going to put up against the symbiotes if the symbiotes are on the other side of Dark Dimension 4? Yeah, that's going to happen. Same thing as Sinister Six is going to be over there staring at us with Doc Ock pounding us into the ground. the I thought I had the. Well, I don't have the passive up, but the passive also removes negative status effects from all symbiotes every turn he gets. That just seems crazy. We don't know how fast Scream is. We don't know how fast AntiVenom is. We don't know what AntiVenom's ultimate is, but they both look, I mean, easily DD3 candidates. And I have enough materials to take one of the two to DD3, and when I hit the city notes on my timed run. So I'm definitely doing that. I'll have I'll have 4 symbiotes plus Ghost Rider. And Ghost Rider, I always thought was a great idea, but the problem is, if he dies first, and it's usually the case, then he never gets charged. So, yeah, at least he's fast enough to do some damage every turn. But yeah, those are the two. So I think the symbiotes are amazing. I am definitely considering doing a purchase of the character offers. One possibly for Scream. I don't know how AntiVenom's coming out. If he's a Blitz release, I might buy 2. They're that good. So highly recommend paying attention to these. If you're starting to build a Dark Dimension 2 team, just work symbiotes. It'll help you get through Dark Dimension 3. Hopefully we find out the requirements for Dark Dimension 4 rather soon, so that we know if this helps us get toward that. The problem with this is they're all 5 bio. They're all 5 possibly need alien spores. We don't really know that requirement yet. And they'll all 5 need whatever's unique for Gear Tier 15. So they may be fantastic there, but it also may be impossible, or at least super slow. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. I think it's a great and welcome change in the game. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is a faction in the game that I just think needs attention. And I just think it's honestly, we I watched Black Panther again this weekend because of Chadwick. And just remembering that, so I'm seriously, I am no Wakandan, but Wakanda forever. These guys need to have a purpose in this game. What Chadwick did in his time as that character, going through what he was going through, this team needs to be for more than just chaos theory to get some red star, currency. They need to be good. It's something. They need to be good, like the best global raid team or something. Something needs to happen here, at least for global nodes, or for they're a mixture of mystic tech skills. There's just too many different things there for them to really own. Some of those other alphabet raids, but they need to be better. I've heard that Microverse or Shrink Tech, whatever, Ant-Man and Wasp, plus Yellow Jacket, Ghost, plus whatever, is going to be a team that's coming as a rework of Ant-Man and Wasp, which is very welcome. I actually really like those characters, and I like all their animations for Ant-Man and Wasp. But Wakandans, seriously, Scopely, you need to do this out of respect for Chadwick. This needs to be a better team. And I'll just thought, it doesn't have to be the ultimate raid team with all the nonsense marketing, but they need to be really, really good at something. Make them super good at the global challenges, or give them a bonus for challenges so that they're the ones that you want to use on global nodes of the challenges. There needs to be something, and I will get off my soapbox on this particular point for a moment. Now, outside of that, I think there's one other character who needs a faction, and that character is Captain Marvel. And I really think that what we need to do for Captain Marvel is to tie into the comics. Now, Marvel Strike Force is good at a lot of things. It's not great at keeping up with what's happening in the comics at all. So I would hope that we can take a step forward and make factions and start tying into comics, because the movies are delaying. So why don't we go back to the source material and do things right? For Captain Marvel, she has a unique spot, even from the theme of her movie, but definitely from the run of the recent Empyre run in Marvel Comics, is as a uniter between the Kree and Skrull empires. So, like, there's been a war that's been going on forever. That war's over in the comics now, and it's over due to one character. That character is Hulkling, and he is half Kree, half Skrull, and is now the Emperor with the Excelsior sword. I mean, come on, Excelsior! It's his sword, and he's amazing. He helped end the war. He is the son of Captain Marvel, the first one, who the other Captain Marvel got her powers from. He was a young Avenger. He's a lot of things. So in this faction, we need an Empire faction that includes Captain Marvel, that includes Hulkling, that includes OG Marvel. Past that, it needs to include Super Skrull, because he is a Skrull who was genetically advanced by the Kree. He's like right there in the middle of what happens when Kree and Skrull can work together. He's a little cuckoo. He took a bunch of powers and dealt with it, tried to harass the Fantastic Four for a very long time, but he belongs in this faction. And finally, we need Talos. Milkshake Talos needs to be on the team as a controller because he's awesome. I have nothing else to say about that other than we really need this faction of the Empire faction led by Hulkling that could tie in our current Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, Marvel, Super Skrull. He has his own name, but just call him Super Skrull in the game. That's what everybody calls him. And there you go. There's a future team, because it really appears that a lot of the MCU movies are moving out. Sorry, hit my mic. If that also affects character release into our game, and it will, we won't see things like Shang-Chi or the Eternals and others for quite a while, because they'll want to sync up with the movie release. Then go tie into what's happening in the comics. This would be fantastic. Anywho, thanks for your time today. I hope this was helpful. Take care. Go outside. Plant something. I'm having a great time doing a fall garden. We've got peas coming up and beets and getting ready to put in some bulbs and things for the spring. And just in general, stay safe and have fun gaming.